Welcome to my YouTube channel. Please don't forget to subscribe, like, and share.
So welcome back to our review series practice quiz, and we now have part 8 of our history and theory of architecture. So before we start with the quiz, again, prepare a piece of paper and write down numbers 1 to 30 para mamaya madali nang sumagot. So for every question, you can easily write down the corresponding letter of your best choice from the multiple choice. You are given 10 seconds to finalize your answer, and at the end of the quiz, count your total number of correct answers and check to what category your score belongs. So if you are ready, we can now start with the quiz. Number 1. An architect deeply concerned with architectural details and craftsmanship that goes into them. Emphasis is often laid on the repetition of industrialized modular units in his work. A. Renzo Piano. B. Michael Graves. C. Frank Gehry. D. Sir Norman Foster. And our correct answer is letter D, Sir Norman Foster. So, Norman Foster is known for high-tech architecture that emphasizes precision, craftsmanship, and the repetition of modular units. The use of industrialized materials and components such as steel and glass, and meticulous attention to architectural detailing and engineering integration. The Gherkin in London, or 30 St. Mary Axe, the Hong Kong and Shanghai Bank headquarters, and the Reichstag Dome in Berlin showcase his industrialized modular approach with an emphasis on craftsmanship and technological expression. Renzo Piano also emphasizes detail and craftsmanship but leans more toward lightness and integration with context. Michael Graves is associated with postmodernism, often using historical references and ornamentation, and Frank Gehry is known for deconstructivist forms, sculptural and non-repetitive, often eschewing modularity. Number 2. A daring example of high-technology architectural design. The museum and library building uses the brightly colored tubes for wiring and plumbing as part of its decoration. A. Denver Library and Museum. B. Marie Gibau Cultural Center. C. Pyramid entrance to the Louvre. And D. Centre Pompidou. And our correct answer is the Centre Pompidou. So Centre Pompidou is an icon of high-tech architecture, also known as the inside-out building. The mechanical systems, that is pipes, ducts, wiring, are exposed and color-coded. The structure is inverted, placing the guts of the building on the outside, freeing up interior space. It challenges traditional ideas of building aesthetics by making infrastructure the ornament. The architect is Renzo Piano and Richard Rogers. So this is a collaborative work. Number 3. What is balance versus proportion? A. Emphasis. B. Axis. C. Unity. And D. Coherence. And our correct answer is letter C, unity. So when balance and proportion are both achieved, they contribute to a sense of unity in design, where all parts feel like they belong together harmoniously. Balance refers to the distribution of visual weight in a design or composition that is symmetrical, asymmetrical, or radial. And proportion refers to the relationship in size between elements or parts of a whole. Emphasis is about drawing attention to a focal point. Axis is a line that organizes elements in symmetry or alignment. And coherence is almost similar to unity, but more about clarity and logic. So number 4, who is the architect who said a house is like a flower pot? A. Le Corbusier. B. Zaha Hadid. C. Toyo Ito. And D. Neutra. And our correct answer is Joseph Neutra, letter D. He also said the following: architects must have a razor-sharp sense of individuality. And the architect who really designs for a human being has to know a great deal more than just the 5 canons of Vitruvius. These are all attributed to Richard Joseph Neutra. Number 5, color of 3 that are closely related to each other. A. Complementary. B. Split complementary. C. Analogous. And D. Triad. And our correct answer is C. Analogous. So analogous refers to colors that are next to each other on the color wheel. They share a common hue and create a harmonious, serene, and often natural feeling, like blue, blue-green, and green. So these are the 3 colors that are near each other in the color wheel, analogous colors. And number 6, what is the science of signs? A. Intimacy. B. Proxemics. C. Anomity. And D. Semiotics. And our correct answer is letter D. Semiotics. Semiotics is the study of signs and symbols and their interpretation. It explores how meaning is created and communicated through various systems of signs, including language, images, gestures, and objects. Number 7, less is a bore. A. Aldo Leopold. B. Robert Venturi. C. Andrea Palladio. And D. Leon Alberti. And our correct answer is letter B, Robert Venturi. So let us compare this quote of Robert Venturi, less is a bore. According to Ludwig Mies van der Rohe, is less is more. So that is the opposite. So modernist architecture is more on less is more, while postmodernist architecture is less is a bore. Number 8, it is the use of raw concrete appearing to be unfinished. A. Brutalism. B. Purism. C. Historicism. And D. Revivalism. And our correct answer is letter A, brutalism. So the term comes from the French phrase béton brut, meaning raw concrete, which was used by Le Corbusier and later inspired the name brutalism. So the Unité de Habitation in Marseille by Le Corbusier was designated a UNESCO World Heritage Site, and this megalith arguably represents the birth of brutalism. Number 9, it is an open planning free of historic detail. A. Academicism. B. Metabolism. C. Modernism. And D. Historicism. And our correct answer is letter C, Modernism. So modernism in architecture, which includes the international style, explicitly rejected historical ornamentation and traditional enclosed spaces. It championed open floor plans, clean lines, functionalism, and the use of new materials like steel, glass, and reinforced concrete. The idea was to create something entirely new, free from the stylistic baggage of the past. Academicism or academicism, beaux arts, is a style that emphasizes classical forms, symmetry, hierarchy, and often elaborate historical ornamentation, drawing heavily from ancient Greek and Roman architecture, as well as the Renaissance and Baroque. Metabolism, on the other hand, is a Japanese post-war architectural movement that focused on modular, adaptable, and expandable megastructures, often with organic growth analogies. And historicism is an architectural approach that intentionally draws inspiration from and recreates or imitates historic styles or elements from the past, like Gothic Revival, Neoclassical, and Neo-Baroque. Number 10, 12 or more feet distance is considered a blank. A. Personal space. B. Social space. C. Intimate space. And D. Public space. And our correct answer is letter D, public space. So public space is 3.7 meters or 12 feet or more, used for public speaking or addressing large groups. Number 11. 1 to 18 inches is therefore considered as A. Personal space, B. Social space, C. Intimate space, and D. Public space. And our correct answer is letter C, intimate space. So this is from 0 to 46 centimeters or 0 to 18 inches for embracing, touching, or whispering. Reserved for close friends, lovers, children, and close family members. Number 12. It has no reference to any particular object. A. Character. B. Abstract. C. Contrast. And D. Absolute proportion. And our correct answer is letter B, abstract. So abstract art or design uses shapes, forms, colors, and lines to create a composition that does not aim to depict visual reality accurately. It can be completely non-representational, meaning it doesn't try to look like anything specific from the real world. Number 13, otherwise called the use of the building. A. Aesthetics. B. Utility. C. Function. And D. Form. And our correct answer is letter C. Function. Function or functionality in architecture refers to the purpose or the use for which a building is designed and intended. It's about how the building serves the needs of its occupants and the activities that will take place within it. Number 14. It is the property of form, which is the hue, intensity, and tonal value of form surface that affects the visual weight of a form. A. Orientation. B. Color. C. Position. And D. Shape. And our correct answer is letter B, color. So color directly encompasses hue, the pure color like red, blue, or green. Intensity is how vivid or dull the color is, also called saturation or chroma. And tonal value, how light or dark the color is, also called lightness or value. All these aspects of color significantly impact how heavy or light, prominent or subdued a form appears visually. So color is a phenomenon of light and visual perception that may be described in terms of an individual's perception of hue, saturation, and tonal value. Color is the attribute that most clearly distinguishes a form from its environment. It also affects the visual weight of a form. Number 15. It is the property of form which is the form's location relative to its environment or visual field. A. Orientation. B. Color. C. Position. And D. Shape. And our correct answer is letter C, position. The location of a form relative to its environment or the visual field within which it is seen. Number 16, it is the property of form which is the principal identifying characteristics of form. Results from the specific configuration of a form's surface and edges. A. Orientation, B. Position, C. Color, and D. Shape. And our correct answer is letter D, shape. So that is the characteristic outline or surface configuration of a particular form. Shape is the principal aspect by which we identify and categorize forms. Number 17, it is the property of form which is the real dimensions of form. A. Size, B. Visual inertia, C. Form, and D. Shape. And our correct answer is letter A, size. It is the physical dimensions of length, width, and depth of a form. While these dimensions determine the proportions of a form, its scale is determined by its size relative to other forms in its context. Number 18. It is the surface characteristics of a form. A. Texture, B. Color, C. Size, and D. Shape. And our correct answer is letter A, texture. It is the visual and especially tactile quality given to a surface by the size, shape, arrangement, and proportions of the parts. Texture also determines the degree to which the surfaces of a form reflect or absorb incident light. Number 19. It is a circulatory element which allows travel from one part of the building to another. A. Corridors, B. Openings, C. Stairs, and D. Entrances. And our correct answer is letter A, corridors, a narrow passageway or gallery connecting parts of a building, especially one into which several rooms or apartments open. Corridors are specifically designed horizontal pathways that connect different spaces or rooms on the same floor. Number 20, it is the circulatory elements which makes the communication possible between the various floors. A. Openings, B. Stairs, ramps, elevators, and escalators, C. Corridors, and D. Entrances. And our correct answer is letter B, stairs, ramps, elevators, and escalators. So circulation in architecture refers to the pathways that facilitate movement throughout a building. This includes both horizontal and vertical movement. Stairs, ramps, elevators, and escalators are all forms of vertical circulation within a building, specifically designed to move people from one level to another. Number 21. Creative center of artistic experiment during the 1920s. Influence can be seen in numerous consumer products. A. Art Deco, B. Constructivism, C. Contextualism, and D. Bauhaus style. And our correct answer is letter D, Bauhaus style. So this German art school was a true creative hub that aimed to unify art, craft, and technology. It fostered intense artistic experimentation across various disciplines, including architecture, furniture design, graphic design, textile design, and product design. A key goal was to design functional, aesthetically pleasing, and mass-producible objects for the modern world. Its influence on consumer products from lamps and chairs to dishware and household appliances was profound and long-lasting, shaping the minimalist and functional aesthetic of modern industrial design. While Art Deco was a popular style in the 1920s and influenced consumer products, it was more about a decorative aesthetic, that is geometric shapes, rich materials, and glamour, than being a creative center of artistic experiment in the same foundational educational sense as the Bauhaus. Number 22. It is usually applied to any building that incorporates a mixture of historical styles, personalities of the 19th century and early 20th century. A. The style. B. Art Deco. D. Eclecticism. And B. Modernism. And our correct answer is letter C, eclecticism. So, eclecticism in architecture is precisely defined as a style where a single building combines elements, motifs, and decorative features from various previous historical architectural styles, that is, Gothic, Romanesque, Renaissance, Baroque, Neoclassical. Architects of this period often had the freedom to choose elements from a broad historical vocabulary to create new and often highly decorative compositions. This was a dominant approach in the late 19th and early 20th centuries, especially before the rise of strict modernism. So number 23, known as fin de cyclism, it is organic and dynamic forms, whiplash lines and curving designs. A. Brutalism, B. Expressionism, C. Art Nouveau, and D. Echoism. And our correct answer is letter C, Art Nouveau. So Art Nouveau, meaning new art in French, was an international style of art, architecture, and applied art, especially prominent from the 1890s to the early 1910s. It is directly associated with the fin de siècle, end of the century period, reflecting a sense of refinement, aestheticism, and a break from historicism. Its most defining characteristics are organic and dynamic forms, whiplash lines, and curving designs. Number 24. It is independent. It stands on its own. A. International style. B. Isolationism. C. Futurism. And D. Brutalism. And our correct answer is letter A, international style. International style is a subset of modernism. This style emerged in the 1920s and 30s and was characterized by a deliberate rejection of historical ornamentation and regional influences. It sought a universal, timeless, and machine aesthetic that could be applied anywhere. In this sense, it was independent of local traditions and stood on its own as a new, pure architectural expression. It aimed to be self-sufficient in its formal qualities rather than relying on historical precedents for meaning or beauty. Number 25. Promotes effective exchange of ideas. A. Character. B. Address. C. Communications. And D. Understanding. And our correct answer is letter C, communications. So communications refers to the process of conveying information, ideas, or feelings effectively between people or groups. Effective communication is essential for the successful exchange of ideas. Number 26, the architect of the Bank of China Tower, Hong Kong. A. Frank Gehry. B. Toyo Ito. C. I.M. Pei. And D. William Van Allen. And our correct answer is letter C, I.M. Pei. So, this building, Bank of China Tower in Hong Kong, is a distinctive and iconic skyscraper known for striking triangular forms and a design that was both innovative for its time and carefully considered in relation to Hong Kong's typhoon-prone environment. Number 27. He introduced Romanesque revival in the USA. A. Henry Richardson, B. Peter Behrens, C. Robert Venturi, and D. William Parsons. And our correct answer is letter A. Henry Richardson. So the architect most widely credited with introducing and popularizing the Romanesque revival in the USA to the point where specific interpretation became known as Richardsonian Romanesque is Henry Hobson Richardson. So the Trinity Church in Boston, Massachusetts became the definitive example of what would be known as Richardsonian Romanesque. So number 28, what are the complementary colors? A. Red and green. B. Green and blue. C. Blue and red. And D. None of the above. And our correct answer is letter A. Red and green. So complementary colors on a color wheel are those that sit opposite each other. These pairs create high contrast and vibrant looks when used together, making elements stand out. The most common complementary color combinations are red and green, blue and orange, and yellow and purple. Number 29. What colors in the color wheel that are adjacent to each other? A. Red, orange, and orange. B. Blue, violet, and yellow. C. Blue and yellow, orange. And D. None of the above. And our correct answer is letter A. Red, orange, and orange. And lastly, in a color wheel, a color scheme composing of three colors adjacent to each other. A. Analogous, B. Triad, C. Complementary, and D. Tricolor. And our correct answer is letter A. Analogous. So these are the three colors that sit side by side on a 12-part color wheel. So that's it. Count now the total correct answers you have. And if your score is 15 or less, time to think for a more strategic review. So if you want to get a more comprehensive preparation for the board exams, just scan the QR code here and know more about the ALE review conducted by Atlas CDC. And watch out for my succeeding videos as well.
Thanks for watching. Don't forget to subscribe, like, and share.
Enroll at Atlas CDC Review for a comprehensive prep for the Architecture Board exams. Message us now.